I'm going to explain to you what the human soul is in a very human way. Your soul is a four-part energy stream made up primarily in this order: your emotion, your feeling, your thought, and your decision. Now that will create a choice in whatever behavior, whatever action, whatever physical manifestation is in the present. If you want to understand how to trace back a manifestation, it starts with the emotion, the energy, the initial energy, the energy in motion, emotion, triggers a feeling. That feeling will trigger a thought, that will trigger a choice that we either accept or we deny. And there's energy and emotion that gets built up, and there's blockages that stores in certain energy centers inside of ourselves. Certain glands, like the pineal gland, is the gland that if we suppress certain decisions, that is where our inner self is, our identity is really stored. That's one part of it. I mean, the entire body is our identity, but certain centers have primary purposes, and the pineal gland will provide all imagination, all self-worth, all self-value to oneself, and becoming sovereign, to being self-sufficient, to being soul sufficient. S-O-L-E or S-O-U-L. Either way, it's one, and it's really understanding oneself. The emotional body stores the feeling and the functionality of our spirit, the energy inside of us, the essence of our human. Feelings are very personal and subjective and very different from one person to the next. Each person has different triggers, to spark different attitudes, to put on a different mask, to wear a different persona, to be a different person, to be the best person that you need to be. We all reflect on our conscious one way or another, and the subconscious that comes out is very interesting. I believe the subconscious is very, very real in a way that it doesn't want to be real. It doesn't want to be sub. It wants to be understood. I believe that these elements inside of ourselves are very still misunderstood. Electricity and power is still very mysterious in a way that science cannot explain. Why our body generates 100 degrees. It fluctuates, but think about that. Our body generates so much energy. Think about an oven and what will cook inside a fire. We are so beyond fire. So really looking at this soul energy, I believe will tap into some powerful potential when other people start generating their own self-worth and sharing it with one another in a very vulnerable, freeing, conscious way of encouraging and sharing real lessons and embracing one another's soul versus dividing one another's soul. I believe our soul not exist. Yeah, I can acknowledge fear, but when it comes back down to what I'm certain of, is my own personal choice. And I believe a lot of people understand that this personal choice is taken from them, that people are programmed to believe that they are going to be punished if they don't abide by certain expectations. And I believe that those expectations is what controls people, and it can be very misleading and misguiding when people don't know the worth and the value of themselves, and they become preyed upon, literally, to their emotions. You know, I'm a survivor of depression. I don't want to say a suicide survivor because that's none of your fucking business if you've never been there. And maybe one day I guess if that's shit, this is so weird, me going there, because really what goes on inside of the development of the soul is the death of ego. My expectations have to be reevaluated, and I have to look at things in a different perspective so I can maintain the worth and the value of my own being. I provide myself with my own recognition, my own affirmations. I give myself pep talks. I give myself my own recognition, validation, affirmation, and confirmation are the four things that I can give myself that I used to depend on other people for. And those seem to take care of me in a way that it doesn't matter what other people think. I know what my obligations are and what I need to maintain for my own frequency. And my ego has to die over and over again. And it will resurrect itself and manifest itself again in a way that I don't really expect. So I have to constantly stay reevaluating myself and really being honest and fact-facing. And I had to let go of a lot of the beliefs that don't serve my highest being, doesn't serve my highest potential. The things that used to be an excuse for me to hold on to certain expectations, that stuff had to die. I grew up Christian, and my belief system has modified exponentially. It is very universal of what I can share with other people because of the relative belief system that I carry now. But it all started with the Christ consciousness. I believe Christ consciousness is the cornerstone of any conscious soul development. And without the unity perspective, I believe it's impossible to stay unified. I believe wanting to become one is this first step in primary peace. Understanding sovereign serenity is what it is that I'm discussing, and hope to discuss more with the people that are listening, because we all matter. It's just a matter of taking our matter back and not giving our matter away to the people who aren't going to reinvest it back inside of us, because I think that's what depression and anxiety does. And I think society has done a great job in making sure that its people is confused and distracted and uneducated and sick, so they don't have the energy to define the process of soul restoration. But I'm going to try to help some people to reestablish themselves, because that's how other people have helped me. And I'm at the point now where I'm struggling with connecting with people, so the artificial intelligence is going to even get a crash course in some Matty D, because that's who I be, and everything around me is me, Matthew Escom.